Scott County School Board, we have a little special, I think it's special, but budget hearing. So we're going to have this, we'll get about 15 minutes before our regular meeting. So we'll call to order that, and I guess we'll hand this over to the guy who knows a lot about this stuff here, Mr. Ferguson.
I don't know about that. This will be, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This will be my 15th budget cycle. It's hard to imagine that, but it is. You've probably seen the information in regards to the budget. Both the House as well as the Senate has agreed to a budget. Of course, at this point in time, it's null and void until the governor signs off on it. But they have agreed upon a budget, which is good. They did finish their session on Saturday, February the 22nd, and will reconvene for the veto session on April the 2nd. So hopefully there won't be many changes. If there are changes, I hope they'll be a very positive one. In comparison to the governor's budget, which he introduced back in December, to that of the House and the Senate, there are some changes within the document that you have before you, and I'll just briefly go over these. For this upcoming fiscal year, they did incorporate an additional 3% monies for education to be used in salaries. One thing that did stand out when the House and the Senate came together, they included a $1,000 bonus to be distributed June of this year. And that is all the standards of quality positions, but we have always handled that a little bit different. And so that is something that has been added. If you look on the second page of that cover sheet, it does make mention of additional monies, more especially that of special education as well as the support cap monies. I came across this document from the Commonwealth Institute, and if you will turn to page 3 of it, it goes into more detail in comparison to the governor's budget, to the House, to the Senate, and then from the conference budget, where both the House and the Senate agreed. And you will see the differences. Some are more positive than negative in regards to what was proposed as they compare that to the governor. In overall money, they do project our ADM for the upcoming year to be, and you'll get a kick out of this, $3,774.35. I don't know how we get 3,500ths of a child, but that is the average daily membership. So when they calculate that, you're going to get a decimal value. But in terms of overall monies in comparison, it does look very similar to what we have received for this current fiscal year, which is a good thing. At this time, I do not have a direct breakdown of the different amounts that make up this budget, or total budget for this upcoming year. And as I made mention earlier, until the governor signs off on it, what is on this piece of paper really doesn't mean anything at this point in time. So those are some of the highlights in regards to the budget that was agreed upon for this upcoming fiscal year, which runs July 1st to June 30th of 2026.
What you've quoted about 3% and $1,000 bonus, so that's going to happen no matter what.
Most likely, since the conference did come away with that, unless the 3% for sure.
Okay.
The $1,000 bonus is still contingent upon the governor signing off on it.
Okay. Was he the one who proposed that?
No, it came out of the House and the Senate.
Okay.
There's no requirement to match it.
No, no required local match on that $1,000 bonus. No.
Is there on 3%?
There will be on that money, it's factored in. In terms of the comparative responsibility of the locality, it's going to be a little less simply because of the ADM number being less, but it's still going to be a considerable amount of money. And again, the figures that I have at this point in time are subject to change, of course, on his signature. But within this document from the Commonwealth Institute, it goes over all the different components, whether it's higher education, K through 12, and the other departments. And it's the totality of the budget itself. But K through 12 begins on page 3 and concludes on page 4. As soon as I can see firm numbers, I will definitely share that with you. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Mr. Chairman, members of the board, that's all that I have at this time.
All right, so I guess we have a public comment. Probably won't answer many questions on this, but you might wish to address the board on the subject matter. If not, we're going to adjourn. We'll start back up there in about 8 minutes. Thank you. All right, we're going to call to order our regular Scott County School Board Kids Month March meeting. So we're going to stand and have a moment of silence. Thank you. Tonight we've got special guests from Shoemaker and Miss Rameen. If you don't care, come up with them, and I think they're going to lead us in the pledge tonight. You want to come up here?
Yeah, we'll come up here.
All right. Miss Rameen, who we have?
We have Leon Lawson and Avery Murray, both sixth graders.
Our flag behind.
It's right here, Phyllis.
I'll read whenever you're ready.
I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's you, Murray. Can we get a picture? Can we get a picture with you guys?
Right here. 1, 2, 3.
Hank is. What did that Hank?
I thought he was still.
We've been doing that for several months now. I really enjoy it for kids to come up and get to get to see the kids from the different schools, and thank you, Mr. Brady, for coming in. I appreciate it. All right, items to add to the agenda. We've got one little change tonight. Underneath the superintendent report, B, we have health insurance consultant. We're going to move that down to number 10. We're going to mark it as C under Jason Smith's. And we'll put it as C, health insurance consultant. So we'll move that from superintendent report B, 8B to 10C. Unless anybody else has anything to add, I need a motion for approval.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion from Ms. Edwards? Got a second from Mr. Mead. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right, approval of minutes. So we had one meeting last month, our regular meeting, February 4th. I had a chance to look over the meeting minutes. Got any questions? Anything that's not wrote properly?
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion from Mr. Sally? Got a second from Mr. Hood. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, approval of claims. Does anybody see in our bills this past month anything particular that caught your eye? Got a question or concerned over? We can bring it up and we'll get some answers. No one has any? I'll make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion from me, got a second from Mr. Sally. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, public comment. Does anyone want to address the board at this time? Right. All right, we'll move on along to the hot top one. Not hot top. This one right there. We're approval of a 2025-26 school calendar and fringe benefit. It looks like Mr. David Wins. Come over and discuss it with us.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I've been doing this for 39 years, 37 for the county and 2 in West Virginia. And I would like to say thank you for all the support you have given us and given me for years. This is my last year. I'm here. So what you give the teachers next year doesn't affect me, but I greatly appreciate it because we have some of the best teachers in the county. And I have worked with them, and I am proud to stand by them. And our children are the greatest that I can imagine they will be. They will be taxpayers one of these days, and they will be successful. Now that I'm retiring, I'd like to say there was a phrase by MacArthur about old soldiers never die, they just fade away. What I'd like to say, old teachers never retire, they just erase their job. I'd like to turn over the rest of this presentation to one of my students, Ashley Coverson.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Wynn.
You're welcome.
My name is Ashley Culbertson. I'm here on behalf of the Salary and Fringe Benefits Committee. Mr. Wynn was one of my teachers. I'm going to say that I will miss him greatly. It's been kind of full circle. His family and my family have even been through some trying times. The same disease affected his grandson as affected my daughter currently. And so I stand before you and I just want to thank you, number one, for your prayers over this past year. Thank you for everything you've done for me and my family. Thank you for standing by us. I'm just very grateful, and I'm trying not to cry. But you guys should have a copy of the calendar for the upcoming year. If you want to go over that one first. The first semester, we didn't really make any changes to that, I don't think. The only day that kind of disappeared on us was the day after Halloween from last year, and now that's just a weekend. So, but the second semester will begin on Monday, January the 5th, And then we did a survey with all the teachers to kind of have a vote on the second semester, and you'll kind of see what they voted on there. The spring break is a little bit later, I think, this kind of year. It'll be in April, and we're going to lead up to that Friday, the Good Friday, April the 3rd. Any questions for calendar?
Let me interject a couple of things.
Okay.
I had the privilege of serving with Ashley on this committee.
Yes.
She chaired it for us. Sally helped on that committee too. Two of the big topics that we had was preference of a few more days off during the year or finishing the school year before Memorial Day. It was, larger vote that we wanted to end the school before Memorial Day, so that's that May 22nd. And then we polled the teachers and staff about make-up days for next year. Do we want to change those from what's been on the previous calendar? But the majority of our folks want to keep the same construct of our make-up days of last year. So the dates change, but how it's made up is simply the same.
And we hope next year is not like this year.
We have missed a little bit, haven't we?
I know it has to be hard on the teachers.
It is. I said, I feel like we're on Groundhog Day, and every time we restart school, it's like the first day of school every time. That's okay. We just have to get through it.
Mr. Chairman, on the calendar, if you all feel comfortable with putting the calendar in.
Oh,
place
okay.
that-
I'm sorry, I thought you might, was gonna comment on some of them.
So,
But-
on the, it says dates highlighted.
They have been established for next year yet. We'll go back and once those are established.
All right, I was just, I didn't know if you was gonna go over some of the items that y'all
The fringe benefits. we
wish
can-
list, or,
We can. So there are 7 different recommendations there. I don't know if you'd like me to read every one of those.
it don't matter. I mean, you can take the highlights, you don't even have to, that's what I was slowing down there a little bit.
Yeah.
That we can read them, and you don't have to announce them out loud, or whatever is good for you. I didn't mean to put words in your mouth.
No, I don't mind at all if you would like me to read them. The first committee recommendation was funding a step increase for all eligible employees and a 3% salary increase based on actual salary for all employees, and that salary increase be reflected in the upcoming 25-26 salary scale. The second committee recommendation was continuing to maintain health insurance premiums for employees at the lowest possible rates without a reduction in benefits. B, to offer the sick leave bank to eligible employees. C, to provide assignment-free lunch for teachers. And D, to issue employee contracts as early as possible. The committee also recommends looking at the possibility of offering a supplement to help offset the cost of health insurance for retirees until age 65 or until an employee is Medicare eligible. The committee also recommends exploring the possibility of offering health insurance to bus drivers. The committee recommends increasing the bereavement leave for parent, child, and spouse from 3 paid days to 5 paid days. The committee recommends developing a policy to donate sick leave days to employees who need them. And we also recommend increasing the amount of business leave from 3 days to 5 days per year.
Thank you. All right, so y'all want to vote on the next year's calendar? I want to approve it. Make a motion for approval.
Make that motion.
Got a motion from Mr. Sally. Got a second from Mr. Hood. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you for leading the committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll hand this over to Mr. Ferguson and the superintendent report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board, in your packet, you will see a request for a science verified credit for student number 26577. Unless there's any particular questions in regards to this document, I ask your approval of this request as presented.
Make that motion.
Motion from Mr. Sally.
I'll say.
A second from Ms. Edwards. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next item we have is the Head Start Financial Report of January 2025. Unless there's any particular questions in regards to this document, I ask your approval as presented.
Motion from Mr. Hood. Got a second from Mr. Mead. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next item we have is the Head Start's revisions to the fiscal policies, B27 and B28. Unless there's any particular questions in regards to this document, I ask your approval as presented.
Make that motion.
Motion from Mr. Sally. Got a second from Mr. Hood. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
The last item we have is for informational purposes. It's the Head Start Director's Report for February 2025. Does anyone have any questions in regards to this document? Hearing none, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, that's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. I understand we need to enter into a closed meeting.
Yes, move that we enter into closed meeting to discuss candidates for employment and assignment and performance of teachers, teaching assistants, coaches, secretaries as provided in section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia as amended.
And I second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We'll adjourn for a while.